If you could go back to when you started down this path, is there anything that you really wish you would have known as you got started? I was reading this question about an hour ago, getting ready for this call and trying to think of, okay, what are the things that I would say in response to this question? And the thing that kept coming to mind for me was cash flow. Cash flow is one of the biggest challenges that you're going to have early on in this business. I actually got a DM from someone on Instagram this morning about this. She's just a podcast listener and she launched her product 63 days ago. So just over 2 months ago. She's already done $17,000 in sales. She's getting ready to place her second order. Profit margin was like, she told me profit margin was 28%. ACOS on ads was 40%, and 30% of sales came from ads. And I was like, holy cow. First of all, congrats on the massive success because that is insanely successful in 63 days. Like, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter, but I just posted that a little tweet about our first 4 months, and we were like $600, 1,000, 800, 2,000. That was like our first 4 months. So I was blown away by those numbers. Everything was amazing. But her big question for me was, how do you manage the cash flow? Because even if you have really good sales, great profit margin, your advertising, ACOS is getting down there nice and low early on, cash flow still is going to be your biggest challenge. Let's go back to the screen share here. I think a lot of people have the misconception that you start your Amazon private label brand, you start getting some sales, maybe you sell $5,000 in your first month, and it's like, sweet, I sold $5,000. My profit margin is 40%. So I just made $2,000. I'm going to go pay myself $2,000. I'm going to pay my mortgage. I'm going to buy some groceries, and, I'm going to take my wife out to dinner. And then the next month, I'm going to sell 10,000. I'm going to make $4,000, and I'm going to go buy a new dirt bike and a new TV and a new couch. That's not how it really works. So if I were going to say, what is what I really wish I knew? We knew everything as far as, we got help and advice and tips. And I had experience with this and business experience as far as supply chain and managing how to, reinvest and profit margin and all that kind of stuff. But how to manage your money and manage your cash flow is really the biggest challenge. So let's just say here, you start off with $5,000 to start your business, and you place your first order. You place your first order for $2,000, and let's just call it 30 days later. You place your order for $2,000. 30 days later, you make a bunch of sales, but your first 30 days, you weren't profitable on pay per click. So maybe you're losing a little bit of money there, which is okay. It's going to happen. That's just part of the gig, when you first launch. But you do end up making some organic sales. And let's just pretend at the end of the day, your profit is, $3,000. Okay. So this would be month 2. So you spent money out of this $5,000 budget. Obviously, you've spent other money besides your first order. You've spent money on your branding, Jungle Scout, whatever else it is you're spending money on, coaching program, right? So other expenses are coming out of there. So maybe instead of having 3,000, like if we did 5,000 minus 2,000, maybe let's just say other expenses, other startup expenses there, barcodes, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe let's say you're left with $2,000. 5,000 minus 2,000, another 1,000 expenses, you're left with $2,000. So now you have $5,000 in your bank account again, right? So you made $3,000 profit. You had $2,000 sitting there from what you had left over. Now you have $5,000 sitting in your bank account. Well, now you got to do the same thing. But here's the thing. Here's where this becomes the biggest challenge for you. You sold a certain number of units, right? You sold enough units to make $3,000 profit in these first 30 days. Well, over the next 30 days, ideally you want to grow. Like, you don't want to just keep selling $3,000 worth of profit every single month. Like, your business isn't going to grow. So what do you have to do in order to sell more? Well, you're going to have to order more, first of all. So instead of, I'm going to put a big minus there because that's a first order. So instead of ordering $2,000, you order $3,000, right? And then let's say you spend a little bit more money on pay per click, and it's still not super profitable, but it's a little bit better. And let's say your profit is, 3,500. So profit 3,500. You spent $3,000 from your 5,000. Sorry if this is getting like a little hard to follow. I didn't really probably map this out super cleanly. $5,000, you spent 3,000, you made $3,500 profit. So now you're left with $5,500, right? After the next month. Well, now after 2 months, you say, okay, we're growing, right? Our profit's increasing a little bit every month, which is good, small growth, but it's time for another SKU. We need another SKU, right? That's the name of the game here. Variations, variation, variation, offers, offers, offers. So you got to reorder. You got to place another reorder for the first SKU, minus $3,000 for SKU number 1 to reorder that bad boy. And so if we minus that, minus 3,000, we're left with 2,500. Now we got to order SKU number 2 for the very first time. Remember this, very brand new SKU number 2. It's your different variation or whatever. And your minimum order quantity, remember if we go way back over here, is 2,000. So if your minimum order for your product's 2,000, now you got to order SKU number 2 is 2,000. Now you're back with $500 in the bank account. So during these first stages, these first growing stages, you're going to see your bank account get down there to close to zero many, many times. And you'll get to a point where you may see that, hey, we can just keep operating like this and increasing our profit by $500 every month, but we don't want to take, 50 billion years to grow this business. So you'll get to a point after you've validated your market, your product sells, that you see, hey, we want to invest a little bit more into this so we can order some more products. And then that's when, like I posted this in our Facebook group today, that's when, like right here, you figure out the secret, you invest more money so you can order a lot more inventory, release a lot more SKUs, and it's going to take that big cash investment, and then you immediately jump up there. That's when we really shot up to like 50,000. And then from there on, everything has been just from profits. We haven't had to invest any more money. But this part is the cash flow struggle. That's why you see it go up and then out, sold out. And we lost our momentum, and we grow it up again. Christmas time, woohoo! And then you drop, and then you go, and then you drop again. And you're like, holy cow, this is so hard to manage. I'm trying to release new products, reorder products. And then you realize, you know what? I know the sales went up right there, but we actually invested. It was like in March when we invested more money into the business to get more inventory, release more SKUs. But yeah, that is probably what I really wish I knew before, or like if I were to go back and do it again, is how the cash flow aspect of this works. That's why I try to tell everyone, when we're doing discovery calls, is do you have the long-term vision? Like if you got to pay rent next month from this, there's going to be a really, 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 really long and slow growth. But if you're trying to grow to $1 million, like in less than 2 years, reinvest, 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 reinvest. And if you get to a point where you have to make another cash investment, do so. But do it after you've proven your market, you've proven your product, and it's going to sell, and it's not going to be a stressful time for you.